So, this is just a reminder, Mr. Hancock. And you don't know how sad it is for me to be sending this to a person who supposedly thinks of himself as this oh so smart, deep thinker and quote person of God. And a person that I highly admired, which now I can only attribute it to my own deranged, drug infused state of mind at the time. Or at least that's the excuse that I use to make myself feel better about myself, okay? But I will proceed nonetheless. So, anyone who isn't white, a white straight male, or a non ass kissing Trumper is DEI. And I can't really even include that because there's plenty blacks, as I will show in a minute, who kissed his ass and he got no reward for it. But nevertheless, um, the black female FBI was DEI. And have you heard of Darren, in parentheses, the quote, competent white men must be in charge if you want things to work, Beatty? Have you heard of him? Yeah, the one who was fired due to speaking at a white nationalist conference, where your fearless leader uh, appointed him as the Undersecretary for Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs, a white nationalist, over diplomacy and public affairs. Yeah, that's makes a lot of sense. Oh, but no racism to see here, I'm sure, according to you. Yet, you had Tim, because I just love you, Trump. Scott had 15 years governmental experience, 11 years as senator. But none of them says 1.5-year Senator J.D. Vance is DEI. Or Hegseth, Army National Guard Major, Fox TV host, as Secretary of Defense, or statutory rapist Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. And now it's Dan Kane replacing fired black four-star General C.Q. Brown. All white folks. But Kamala, I'm sorry, Vice President Harris at the time, San Francisco District Attorney, California District Attorney, Senator, U.S. Vice President, she's DEI. The same VP, Vice President, that senator's husband put his hand in his pocket when she reached out to shake his hand. Yeah, but no racism with your group. But they want to talk about quote merit based. I mean, this just is laughable to anybody with more than two brain cells. No, it's race based. That's what it is. And the first thing that came out of their mouths with the crash killing 67 people is DEI. Just horrid people. Same crap you talk. The people you side with. The people you and your wife, who is an actual Republican, support. And what happened to those Tim Scott, Wesley Hunt, Byron Donalds? What happened to them? Only that Turner, like you, got appointed by Trump to that symbolic, again, that symbolic house position for HUD. Same as Ben Carson. You say your people aren't dumb because they want affordable this and that. You remember that? And that's all Trump talked about. Had a prop table full of groceries. After election, I can't bring down the I can't bring the price of groceries down. Oh, and ask will that be a recession? I can't predict that. That's what he said. Predictor, and it is predictable since he himself went bankrupt 6 times. So of course he knows nothing about economics or how anything work. Uh, certainly not the largest, richest country in the world. Good Lord, the man went bankrupt with a casino. How in the hell you do that? And you also said, yeah, it's the undereducated who has more sense than some educated. Yeah. Well, but that was really in your lame defense of their stupidity in regards to Trump. Problem with that is you are educated. And unfortunately, I use that term loosely. But I guess you see yourself as having the common sense of the uneducated with the benefit of being educated. And of course, you can't see yourself in the category of the educated with no sense. And why is that? Because since you side with the uneducated, you see yourself as having the good sense, having their good sense is that. But yes, your good sense, insight, had you vote for a creature who's recognizing Maduro as president of Venezuela, the now dictator who lost 30 to 67%. Yet he's attacking our allies like Canada and Denmark and Mexico. Well, that might be excusable, but anyway, basically all of Europe, right, except the authoritarian ones. It's just like you're just not that bright. I mean, that's all I can conclude. Okay. So, what excuse does the educated Mike, but with sense, have for Musk? And now even Bannon trying to get into the show, doing the straight up Nazi salute, right? Hitting chest and all. Roman salute too, like your fellow like-minded feces for brain comrades are doing. Probably one similar to why a non-elected Musk was given access to your Treasury Department servers. Or how does Trump, my apologies, think he can just override the birthright 14th Amendment of the Constitution with an executive order? Or gutting the FBI, CIA, federal workers, freezing federal funds? Doesn't the Constitution say the power of the purse belongs to Congress? Oh, yeah, that's right. The checks and balances of this great nation. Mhm. So you will willingly vote for a person who you know has to be constantly checked, as he is now being, losing court challenges left and right, then telling Roberts to rein in federal judges, claiming they are obstructing the powers of the president, calling for the impeachment of any judge who rules against Hitler. Oh, I'm sorry, again, I mean Trump. And how in the hell does he think Robert have the power to do that? Uh, what? I mean, what you can call him and what? Never. And the co-author of Project at 2025 that you poo-pooed about, whatever. He is now budget manager. Yeah, the one Trump said, oh, he didn't have nothing to do with it. I don't know how, again, anybody with more than two brain cells could be conned by this. Brother, all I can say is you was in the White Towers too long. You wasn't in the hood. You wasn't around real people or something. I don't know what I'm just at a loss, okay? But what's your excuse? Because you're full of excuses to protect your fragile ego that you could be wrong about anything. Or you're just plain dense as hell one. Again, I don't know. Then he's offering white Afrikaners refugee status in the US while deporting black and brown people who've been here for years. Now he's even gone, oh yeah, now he's even he's going to oust men from the military due to razor bumps. It's some fancy word they call it, but it's razor bumps. And who usually get razor bumps? I wonder who. Meanwhile, you and your type are worried about transgenderism, like 0.05% of the population. So, in closing, sir, as I said, this is just a reminder of why I ceased all communications with you and have zero desire to renew our association. Give up on me, you said. Well, actually, I did give up on associating with someone whose naivete or so severely mentally impaired is off the charts. Yet think you are such an oh so deep thinker. I want you to know two of the biggest mistakes I've ever made in my life, and they both concerned you. The first was reconnecting with you in '08. The second was I should have dropped you instantly after your Obama citizenship was something to explore assertion. See Article S8.C4.1.4.2, Citizenship and Children Born Abroad. What relevance is it when the Constitution makes it clear? But anyway, I would have saved myself from the disappointment and misery of experiencing 16 years of your rhetoric of pure, unadulterated, twisted nonsense. And P.S. 1,500 pardons of your so called knucklehead J6s who beat and maimed cops. So if knuckleheads break the law, they get off because they're knuckleheads. I guess you are not for the party. I'm sorry. I meant to say, I guess you're not a criminal unless Trump says you're a criminal. And so much for the party of law and order, right? I guess Trump's law, Trump's order. So I'm so sorry. But in my mind, that I know you care nothing about, I see you as just the most freaking dense individual I've ever met. And again, in my mind, anyone who would deal with you on a constant social basis, they too are just dense freaking retards. All of the above is just a reminder, Pastor Lorenzo. That would be you, by the way. No, speaking of, I forgot. Now insulin is going back to skyrocketing prices because of that walking piece of feces you support and voted for, and who is actually delusional enough to think you are a Christian. No, sir. What you are is just meticulously evil. You are the quintessential wolf in sheep clothing the Bible speaks of. And I've been feeling that for the longest, but I just couldn't quite put my finger on it, which I should have snapped to it when I told you in your face on the phone plainly that I don't like you. This entire reconnection with you has been a pathetically sad experience for me, man. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I'm wrong. And this was your plan of expediting Jesus's return, uh, by putting this freak show of a president in power. But like that was your plan, that thing that you say that I can't comprehend, about you because I guess I'm so shallow, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and you can correct me, but I seriously doubt it. So in the end, just bye. It was just a reminder.